A very good afternoon to you. Foul weather it might have been for Boxing Day, but a very fair sporting programme as ever. And the headlines from today's sport? Well, in football, Arsenal, Crystal Palace and Leeds all win as Liverpool are held to a draw. West Ham go back to the top of Division 2 and Desert Orchid achieves a little bit of racing history with a record 4th King George victory at Kempton. And in the Test match in Melbourne, well, I'm pleased to say England had a pretty good day. More details coming up, but first, the classified football results.
Barclays League Division 1. Arsenal 3, Derby County 0. Coventry City 2, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Crystal Palace 2, Sunderland 1. Everton 1, Aston Villa 0. Leeds United 4, Chelsea 1. Luton Town 0, Sheffield United 1. Manchester United 3, Norwich City 0. Nottingham Forest 2, Wimbledon 1. Queen's Park Rangers 1, Liverpool 1. Southampton 2, Manchester City 1. League Division 2, Blackburn Rovers 0, Notts County 1. Brighton and Hove Albion 0. Bristol Rovers 1. Bristol City 4, Portsmouth 1. Hull City 3, Oxford United 3. Ipswich Town 0. Middlesbrough 1. Millwall 2, Leicester City 1. Newcastle United 1, Swindon Town 1. Plymouth Argyle 1, Barnsley 1. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. Watford 2, Port Vale 1. West Bromwich Albion 1, Charlton Athletic 0. West Ham United 2, Oldham Athletic 0. League Division 3, Birmingham City 0, Brentford 2. Bournemouth 0, Mansfield Town 0. Bury against Leyton Orient, match postponed. Cambridge United 3, Tranmere Rovers 1. Crewe Alexandra 2, Preston North End 2. Fulham 0, Bradford City 0. Reading 2, Grimsby Town 0. Rotherham United 2, Chester City 1. Postponed match, Shrewsbury Town against Huddersfield Town. Southend United 1, Bolton Wanderers 1. Stoke City 2, Swansea City 2. Wigan Athletic 4, Exeter City 1. League Division 4, Aldershot against Darlington, match postponed. Blackpool 1, Peterborough United 1. Cardiff City 3, Carlisle United 1. Chesterfield versus Burnley, match postponed. Doncaster Rovers 3, Maidstone United 0. Gillingham 1, Walsall 0. And postponements, Hartlepool United against Stockport County and Rochdale versus York City. Scarborough 4, Halifax Town 1. Scunthorpe United against Northampton Town and Torquay United versus Lincoln City, matches postponed. Wrexham 1, Hereford United 2. The Vauxhall Conference, Bath City 2, Yeovil Town 1. Colchester United 0, Barnet 0. Gateshead 5, Barrow 1. Kettering Town 1, Boston United 1. Macclesfield Town versus Altrincham, postponed match. Bertha Tydfil 1, Kidderminster Harriers 2. Northwich Victoria against Runcorn, another postponement. And Stafford Rangers 1, Telford United 1. Sutton United 5, Slough Town 2. Welling United 1, Fishbowl Athletic 1. Wycombe Wanderers 0, Cheltenham Town 2.
Well, now some of the stories behind those results, beginning at Loftus Road, where Barry Davies saw Liverpool held to a 1-1 draw by Queen's Park Rangers.
Well, credit to Rangers after their depressing run. They were the lesser team for most of the contest, had a penalty for hands against Hussein, rejected at the start of the second half. Not deliberate was the call, and then 3 minutes into the half fell behind to the sort of goal with which Liverpool regularly sicken opponents. A threat at one end leading to an incision at the other. But they stuck to their game and built a good equaliser, for all the fact that it hit a post and Grobbelaar on the way over the line. I think that Jan Stejskal, Rangers goalkeeper, must have been watching our World Cup memories this morning, for he looked much more the Czechoslovakian international he is. It certainly helped, especially early on with new boy Tilson, not always sure that he was exchanging praise with Caesar of the Gus variety. Wilkins was so cool and the best passer on the field, and the skills of Wegley always kept hope at a flicker. Liverpool have certainly played better. Barnes seemed not to enjoy the wind and rain. Who did? but he beat first Tilson and then Stayskill to the ball for the Liverpool goal, started by Gillespie, ending the run of Wegley right by the corner flag. Sanson, Stinton, who crossed, and Falco, who headed, brought the equaliser in the 67th minute. Rush and Rosenthal had the best chances after that, but Rangers deserved a first home point since October.
So Liverpool held, and that gave hope to some of the chasing group that they might close the gap. And Arsenal, well, they took that chance in confident manner, beating Derby County by 3-0, as we hear from Tony Gubber.
A novelty goal to wrap up Arsenal's comfortable win when a massive Seaman goal kick carried the length of the field, bounced once, forcing his opposite number Martin Taylor to push it onto the crossbar before Alan Smith ran in to head his second goal of the match and Arsenal's third. And yet it might have been different, because 4 times in the first 25 minutes Derby's Dean Saunders had the turn of heel to put himself through on Arsenal's goal. Uncharacteristically, he missed each time, and in the same period Arsenal scored twice. A poor Derby back pass in the first 5 minutes led to the cross that Mark Wright missed, but Alan Smith didn't. 1-0. And Derby keeper Martin Taylor, replacing Peter Shilton today, had made a series of fine saves before he was caught on the floor when Paul Merson turned the ball in from an acute angle. 2-0, barely a quarter of the match gone, and Arsenal then demonstrated the quality in their side with some fine moves involving Thomas, Limpar and Rocastle. Arsenal well worth the win.
Well, Spurs must have been hoping to exploit Coventry's problems. Their new player-manager, Terry Butcher, was looking for his first league win since taking over at Highfield Road. Well, today he got a seasonal boost. Coventry winning 2-0. Here's David Davis.
Yes, Tottenham eclipsed by a Coventry team, providing a delighted Terry Butcher with a league victory at his 7th attempt as player-manager. Spurs beaten by 2 goals inside 5 minutes just after half-time. Coventry, denied by Thorsved, had had the better of a sometimes turbulent, tetchy first half, though Spurs will insist that Paul Walsh and Gary Mabbott had the best chances. But then almost from the restart, the quite excellent David Smith and Kevin Gallagher down the Coventry flanks, combining, Gallagher sweeping the ball home 1-0. And then Gallagher again, forcing Thorsved to save frantically on the edge of the area. Mickey Ginn with the confidence to control and knock in the rebound. But Coventry's victory fashioned midfield, where Emerson and Speedy and Yes Ginn fought for every ball in every part of Highfield Road. Naeem and Samways replaced Sedgley and Walsh. No change. As the wind howled and the rain swept down, not a day for Gascoigne and Spurs. But my, how Terry Butcher smiled at the end.
Sounded lovely there. Now let's see the rest of the First Division news, beginning with Crystal Palace, and it was Mark Bright who scored the winner for them just 5 minutes before the end. That was following their 2-1 win over Sunderland. In fact, they're just 6 points behind Liverpool now. And Lee Chapman scored twice for Leeds in their 4-1 win against Chelsea. Leeds now extending their run to 13 matches without defeat. Mark Hughes and then Brian McClare with 2 were on target for Manchester United at home to Norwich. Graham Sharp eased Everton's relegation fears with the only goal of the game against Aston Villa, while Brian Dean gave Sheffield United their second victory in 5 days. They really can't stop winning now, can they? And that was the winner at Luton. And if we have a look at the top of Division 1, well, we see that Liverpool, their lead is cut to 4 points after they drew at Queen's Park Rangers, while Arsenal beat Derby. Crystal Palace stay third after beating Sunderland, and Leeds move up to fourth following that 4-1 win over Chelsea. Meanwhile, at the bottom, Sheffield United's second win in 5 days has taken them to within 4 points of second bottom Queen's Park Rangers. Coventry move out of the bottom 3 after that 2-0 win over Spurs. And a change at the top of Division 2, West Ham going back to the top after beating Oldham 2-0 at Upton Park, from where Gerald Sinstadt reports.
No one need be surprised if these clubs meet again next Boxing Day in the First Division. But on this day, West Ham were clear and deserving winners, courtesy of 2 well-taken goals. Morley chesting the ball down and turning well in the first half. Slater finishing off a superb move down the right, in which Breaker was involved in the second. But for Hallworth in the Oldham goal, saving a Quinn penalty and a point-blank shot from Morley, it could have been more. That would have been reward for the cultured play of Allen and particularly Slater in midfield, abetted by the vigour and zest of the tireless Keane. But it would have been less than just to an Oldham side of many virtues if the final pass from their fullbacks had matched their other skills, if the change of emphasis brought about when Curry replaced the 39-year-old Donachie had come earlier, Mikloshko may not have kept his 10th clean sheet of the season. There were, incidentally, 5 cautions, but they were evidence of wholehearted commitment rather than of malice.
So West Ham leading Oldham in Division 2. Middlesbrough are now third. Ian Baird scored their winner at Ipswich, while Sheffield Wednesday dropped to fourth after drawing 2-2 against Wolves, and that after leading 2-0 at one stage. And at the bottom of Division 2, Watford move off the bottom to 21st position after this morning's 2-1 win over Port Vale. At the top of Division 3, Southend extend their lead to 5 points following their 1-1 draw with Bolton. Grimsby stay second, even though they lost 2-0 at Reading. Rotherham remain bottom of Division 3 despite their 2-1 victory over Chester. Fulham drew at home to Bradford City, while Mansfield drew at Bournemouth. Doncaster, the only team in the top 6 to play today in Division 4, they move 5 places to lead the table after their 3-0 win against Maidstone. Rufus Drevitt scored twice for them. And at the bottom of Division 4, we'll spare a thought for Lincoln City. They travelled all the way to Torquay, only to find that their match was postponed. And at the top of the conference, Kettering maintain their 12-point lead after a 1-1 draw at home to Boston. Barnet and Colchester stay second and third after drawing 0-0 this morning. And at the bottom of the conference, well, Cheltenham Town right at the bottom.